A lot of internet research between Facebook and had done some research on countries outside of the United States for having plastic surgery, and Colombia came up, and I looked at probably thousands of practices in my research. It's been really positive. I sent pictures. Very prompt response. I had some other practices that I also looked at that took a lot longer to respond. I went and talked to local physicians to where I live. So I found Premium Care was really responsive really quickly, and got back to me, kind of came up with an initial game plan, and then I had my consultation on the phone with Dr. Campbell, which was really positive, and then here I am. Oh, sure. Well, my journey started over 3 years ago. About 3 years ago, I just decided I was really unhealthy. I had gained a lot of weight. I had finally decided I was going to die if I stayed on that path. So I finally went and saw a doctor, got weighed for the first time in quite some time, and I was up to 349 pounds. And went and saw a nutritionist, did some counseling, basically took everything science had to help me start losing some weight. I lost some weight, and then I had a gastric sleeve and lost more weight, and I was down 140, 150 pounds, but my weight loss had stabilized, and I was really pretty happy with how much weight I had lost. Could lose a little bit more, but felt pretty good about it. Was healthy, could move, do the things I wanted to do. But I was left with basically the skin bag to hold an extra 150-pound person inside my body. I didn't want to do that. So it made sense to start thinking about how to get rid of all that excess skin, because I just didn't want to carry it around anymore. It was hard to put inside clothes. My arms hung out of shirts. I never felt bad about myself. I didn't feel ugly. I just felt uncomfortable. I felt like I was just being held back from doing the things I wanted to do. So, started investigating. I've been thinking about this for, oh gosh, I knew that the skin removal was going to happen when I decided to have the bariatric surgery. That just kind of, you can't lose that much weight that fast, especially at my age. It's just not going to snap back. So I knew it was going to happen eventually. Maybe 6-8 months ago, I started researching it a little bit more heavily, and then at work, I very seldom have kind of open opportunities to be out of the office for an extended period. I have a pretty intense job, and just the stars aligned. I was able to be out of work for a little while, and my boss was, I talked to my boss about it, and he said, yeah, if you can get in and get it done basically now. And so, I called, and you guys just happened to have an opening, I'd had other practices that I'd also talked to that also happened to have openings in the right time frame. But my consultation with Dr. Campbell really sealed the deal for me. When I spoke to him, he was able to talk to me about risk mitigation, which I've got an engineering degree, and I work in business. I manage these large projects, so he was able to talk to me intelligently, didn't talk down to me. And let me be a participant in my care, which I really liked, and that's what got me here. So. Right now I feel good. I knew going into it that I wasn't going to wake up and suddenly have a different body. I know that it takes 2 to 6 months for my body to recover from this. I prepared myself a lot emotionally for this process. I know a lot of people have regret initially, so I prepared myself for some level of regret. I prepared myself for a body that didn't look like, the magazines where you see, women who are a size 2 with everything perfect. I knew that wasn't realistic, so I was really prepared for the fact that I'd have swelling, but I feel good. I walked yesterday like 3/4 of a mile, and so my surgery was a week ago, and for the amount of surgery that I had with the arms and I've been cut all the way around, and my breasts, there was a lot that was done, but I'm able to move again, and I feel human again, and that's fantastic. So that was my expectations, and they're absolutely met at this point. Well, I was really lucky on my recovery suite. So on the flight I had to fly through Florida, and I just so happened to be seating in a row with two other women, and we just started chatting. And as it turned out, these were sisters who were coming here to have plastic surgery the day before me. And we got along so well on the flight, and they got mad at me because I kept making them laugh, and they kept having to pee, but it's kind of what I do. So I like to make people laugh. So we really just connected and bonded, and by the time we were done, we had exchanged phone numbers. And when they got here, they put in a request for me to be put in with them. I stayed in a separate place for the first 4 days because I had a vacation for 4 days. It was awesome. I love Cartagena, by the way. It's beautiful here. Really got to go in and immediately knew who my roommates were, and it's just been lovely service. I have my own space. I'm not having to share, a room with anybody else, but I'm also not alone. I'm not lonely, and the views are just amazing. So I really love it there. Oh my gosh, I am so in love with Cartagena. I spent 4 days and walked, 6, 7, 8 miles a day. Just had to see everything. I knew I had a limited amount of time, and I wanted to just take it all in. I took a salsa lesson. I went on a food walking tour. I ate some amazing food, saw beautiful sights, made other friends along the way. I went on spent 1 day at Playa Blanca on the beach and met some other people there that I have stayed in touch with. It's been fantastic, and I've been to a lot of places all around the world, and Cartagena it's in the top 2 places. It's now a hard tie between Cartagena and Thailand. So especially Colombia, but really plastic surgery. I think the big thing is to take some time to have an emotional inventory of what it is that you want, what your expectations are, being realistic about that. Knowing ahead of time that it's a process. There's a lot of people who talk about you have to trust the process. Changing your body, losing a dramatic amount of weight. Statistically, people who have bariatric surgery there's sometimes a lot of challenges that they go through emotionally. And so preparing yourself for that, I think, is the biggest thing. I mean, we can spend lots of time looking at pictures of people with the snatched waists and the perky boobs and all of that, but really spending more time on preparing yourself emotionally and understanding what your expectations are, what's realistic. I think wherever you go, but coming here is probably the smartest move because you get to see Cartagena. I think it's just so important to really spend that time in that emotional kind of grounding yourself. You're welcome.